Our speaker studied BS Electrical Engineering in Mapua Institute of Technology, year 1989. She's a Master in Management, Major in Engineering Management in Colegio San Juan de Letran, 2012. He worked also as a lecturer or faculty member at Colegio San Juan de Letran, year 2008 to 2014. Worked as Operation Manager of Resonance Technical Group Incorporated, 2015 to 2018. And is currently working as Operation Manager of Ideal Industrial Solution Incorporated. She also received various awards, a Leadership Excellence Award 2014, an Outstanding Leadership Award, and Most Outstanding Chapter, a Platinum Awardee year 2014 by IIEE. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our 2022 IIEE National Secretary, Engineer Esperanza Collado.
Yes, thank you, Marvin, for that introduction. Good morning, everyone.
Morning
Happy
po.
Sunday to you all. It's an early morning and it's a Sunday sa atin. So I hope after this webinar, you could still have time to attend Mass. No? Kailangan natin. It's our Sunday obligation for today. And thank you for SCC and to Sir Mervin for inviting me over to discuss RA 7920. It is very timely, guys. You know why? It is the 27th year of RA 7920 this coming February 24. So very timely ang discussion natin. Nasa 27th year anniversary, baka meron dito mas bata pa kaysa sa RA 7920 natin. Okay? Sana naman wala. Kasi kahapon, puro mga bata, hindi pa sila na isilang yung mga students. Ngayon naman, puro professionals tayo. So, again, happy anniversary to our beloved electrical engineering law this coming Feb 24. Okay, so let me share my screen so that we could start. Kita nyo na?
Yes po. Kita na
Yan.
po na.
Yan. So RA 7920, the new electrical engineering law, was approved last February 24, 1995. As I've said in my introduction, we are already on our 27th year. Diba? So ang tagal na yan. So the IIEE now, dito pumapasok si IIEE, we are the solely accredited professional organization for electrical practitioners. So we have a PRC certificate of 016, founded in 1975, but this certification or accreditation number changes every 3 years because we have to renew our accreditation to PRC every 3 years. So I think 2023, next year, magre-renew ulit tayo ng accreditation natin and we will be given again another accreditation number. Kasi dati accreditation natin, yung recent, before it becomes 016, it's 02. And then when we say electrical practitioners, we are talking, of course, about professional electrical engineers, registered electrical engineers, and the registered master electricians. Yan lang po yung mga members, regular members ng IIE. Even before that we had the amendment of our bylaws sa IIEE, RMEs are not part of the regular members. Auxiliary sila before. But now, pantay-pantay na po yan, regular members na rin sila tulad ng mga electrical engineers. Okay. So sabi ko na, 7920 has been raised to the Congress and to the Senate. So may House Bill 11063 and Senate number 1766. So ito, ang last session nila was conducted noong 25th of July 1994. It was submitted by the House of Representatives and the Senate House. Then Jose de Venecia and Edgardo Angaro respectively to the President, then Fidel V. Ramos. It was approved by Feb 24, 1995. Kaya yun po yung anniversary natin nung time na in-approve ng ating Presidente then Fidel V. Ramos. So it's been 27 years. It's really about time for us to amend or revise our law so that it could go with time. Kasi that 27 years, marami nang nabago, marami ng innovations, marami ng pwede nating i-incorporate sa bagong law. But then, I think you are all aware that there is a bill that has been submitted to the lower house and the Senate, kaya lang hindi pa po approved, and I don't know why we still need to lobby. Kailangan natin ng politician, ilobby sa politician para po may-include nila sa kanilang mga sessions. And yun, tinatry ulit to revise that. It's because it's been years again na nakasalang doon na hindi gumagalaw. So from those years, maraming pagbabago na naman. So I just hope the Legislative Law and Legislative Committee ng IIEE would check on it again and submit another kung ano ang pwedeng akma sa panahon natin ngayon. So that's why it's called the new electrical engineering laws. You could see nasa Article 1, title and definition of terms. Andyan yung word na new, even if it's no longer new because it's it is on its 27th year, but is still, as per our law, Republic Act 7920, we still call it New Electrical Engineering Law. So remember that, that's Article 1, Section 1. So let's discuss more on Section 33, but let me give you an overview of other sections in RA 7920 that I see deemed necessary for us professionals. So in Section 16, qualification of applicants for registration as professional electrical engineer. This is a law, that's why we have to state it as is, as it's written in our RA 7920. We cannot change any word that is written because that is our law. Yun yung accepted sa atin. So I know a lot of you are now upgrading their grade level to professional electrical engineers. I know Southern Cavite have lots of professional electrical engineers, and you are undergoing upgrading for your registered electrical engineers to become professional electrical engineers. So these are the qualifications that is being written in our law, RA 7920. So there must be no other qualifications or changes in this kasi po batas to. Okay. Sabi, he is a citizen of the Philippines. Siguro naman tayo lahat taga-Pilipinas. Okay? He is of good reputation with high moral values. This is very subjective, diba? Because we have different values. So it's up for the Board of Electrical Engineering to determine kung yung mga ating character is considered with high moral values. He has not been finally convicted by the court of an offense involving moral turpitude. So if you could, kung updated kayo sa news this coming election, there is a question regarding this moral turpitude. Diba? Naririnig nyo yan. So kapag sinabi nating moral turpitude, that has something to do with our mental health. There's something to do with our character. So nagkaroon ng debate tungkol dyan about a certain violation, non-compliance to a certain law. But then, moral turpitude, sabi ko nga ulit, may ibang definition ulit kasi being morally right is very subjective. Okay. So of course, for you to become a professional electrical engineer, you must be a graduate of BSEE. Okay. And of course, before becoming a professional electrical engineer, you must be a registered electrical engineer. And in your application, you must have a valid certificate of registration and a license. Okay. With 4 years or more of active practice reckoned from the date of registration as a registered electrical engineer. So dapat active member ka ng PRC. If you are an active member of PRC, it follows that you're also an active member of IIEE because you cannot renew your license at PRC without being an active member of IIEE, which is the only organization being accredited by the PRC, Board of Electrical Engineering. Okay? So, when sinabing valid certificate of registration, because there are some registrations that are being revoked because of malpractice of our profession. Okay, so here, if there are applicants from RME to become an REE, these are also the qualifications. Okay, again, a citizen of the Philippines, at least 21 years of age. If you could remember, baka sa inyo before, when you took the exam, you are not yet 21 years old, you were not able to get your license yet, but you were allowed to get the examination. Your license would be released when you reach the age of 21. Sabi ulit dyan, high moral values, tapos moral turpitude again. And of course, you must be a degree holder of BSEE. If you are not a graduate of BSEE, you are an RME with 10 years of experience, pwede ka namang maging engineer or pwede ka mag-aral sa ITIAP. Okay, you extended tertiary education. And I think in Enverga, in Quezon, within Southern Luzon, nag-o-offer sila ng ITIAP, extended tertiary education, that you could finish your engineering course even if you haven't undergone the 5 years engineering degree. As long as you have enough experience, and then you are required, I think, to take up major subjects that is good for, I think, a year. May ilang units kayong pwedeng tapusin. Then you could finish your degree for electrical engineering. Then you will be given a chance to become an electrical engineer after taking the board exam. So, yun. So, kung meron man dito na mga RME, guys, if you want to become an engineer, pwede kayo mag-aral. Konting tiyaga lang. I think that is every weekends lang naman. So pagtsatsagaan talaga yan. We have many professional electrical engineers who did not undergo or did not have a degree before then, but were able to finish through ETIAP. So naging engineer na sila, full-fledged engineer na sila, and now full-fledged na professional electrical engineers because they have taken the exam. Sa mga individuals who wants to become a registered master electrician. So these are the qualifications also. Tungkol dun sa personal qualifications, of course, a citizen of the Philippines, at least 18 years of age. So that yan yung adulthood sa atin. A good reputation again, with high moral values. Tapos you should not be involved in any case involving moral turpitude. And ito yung mga backgrounds na dapat nating i-consider if there are individuals here who wanted to become a registered master electrician. So, sabi rito, you should have completed 3 years of a 5-year Bachelor of Science in electrical engineering. If you notice during dun sa mga release ng mga board exams, there are students who are passers of REE and passers of RME. It's because they are already qualified to take RME licensure examination after garnering 3 years of the 5 years BSEE degree. So allowed na sila, but there's a but. Before they could apply for an RME examination, aside from being finishing a 3-year from the 5-year BSEE, dapat meron silang 1-year practice as apprentice. And ito po ay ang nagbibigay niyan ay isang electrical practitioner, professional electrical practitioner. Siya ngayon yung nagsicertify that certain individual, kung estudyante pa siya, na he was able to undergo 1-year apprenticeship, then he is allowed already to take the RME exam. So karamihan ng mga RME, mga bata, hindi na tulad nung dati na talagang yung mga experienced ang nagtatake ng RME exam. Kasi minsan, hindi ko naman nila lahat, may mga tao na parang gusto nila paramihan na ng lisensya. Hindi na iniisip kung ano yung experience para magkaroon ng lisensya. Hindi ko naman kinakwan na i-blame yung mga ganitong gustong mag-isip. Pero sabi nga ni Spider-Man, great power comes with great responsibility. So ang palagi nating isipin is the responsibility that goes with that license. So sabi rin dito, we can apply for a master electrician licensure examination if you graduated from a 2-year electrician's course from a vocational or technical school recognized by our government, and in addition, dapat may 2 years of apprenticeship ka rin naman. So itong 2 years your certification, it would be given again by a professional electrical practitioner. Ano pa? Na pwede kang mag-exam. A 1-year electrician's course of instruction from a vocational school recognized by the Philippine government, and in addition, 3 years of apprenticeship after completion of the course of instruction on electrical installation, operation, and maintenance of utilization devices and or equipment. Okay? Has completed a 4-year high school education. Marami ito, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na may experience kasi at a young age, nagwo-work na sila as electrician even if they are high school graduate only. Pero marami silang experience, they can take the exam to become a licensed master electrician. So, marami, napaka-wide ang binibigay sa atin. Kung meron man dito na hindi pa licensed na electrician, maraming binibigay sa ating wide backgrounds to become a registered one. So sabi nga dito, Article 2, Section 4G, the powers and duties of the board. Why is IIEE taking care of everything? So ang sabi doon sa ating RA 7920, specifically Section 4G of Article 2, the powers of the board. The Board of Electrical Engineers look into the conditions affecting the practice of the electrical engineering profession, adopt measures for the enhancement of the profession and the maintenance of high professional, technical, and ethical standards, and conduct ocular inspection of places where registrants practice their profession, such as but not limited to electric plants, substations, industrial plants, factories, commercial establishment, institutional establishment, watercrafts, electro-locomotives, engineering offices, repair shops, and similar places to determine and enforce compliance with this act. The board shall authorize the duly integrated and accredited Electrical Engineering Association and other registered Electrical Engineering Association to render assistance in this function. So it is very clear in RA 7920, Article 2, Section 4G, na ang power ng board pwede siyang mag-share o humingi ng tulong sa accredited professional organization, which is the IIEE. Kaya nung year 2000, nagkaroon ng board resolution para dyan. Kasi sa practice ng electrical engineering, which is stated in Article 4, okay, sundry provisions relative to the practice of electrical engineering. Ito yung field of practice natin. Dito natin maipapakita o dito ngayon magkakaroon ng tulong si IIEE because of a certain board resolution that was issued then. So in Section 31, Article 4, ano ang field of practice? The field of practice for PEE, REE, and RME shall be as follows. Okay. A professional electrical engineer's or PEE's field of practice includes the sole authority to seal electrical plants and to practice electrical engineering in its full scope as defined in this act. Ano naman ang REE? A registered electrical engineer's field of practice includes the charge or supervision of operation and maintenance of electrical equipment in power plants, industrial plants, watercraft, electric locomotive, and others, manufacture or repair of electrical supply and utilization equipments, including switchboard, power transformers, generators, motors, apparatus, and others, teaching of electrical subjects, sale and distribution of electrical equipment and systems requiring engineering calculations or applications of engineering data. Kung ang sinabi is ang PEE, full scope of electrical engineering profession, ganun din ang registered electrical engineer. Both they could practice all the sundry provisions stated here. The only difference between an REE and a PEE is the signing and sealing of plans, electrical plans. Yun lang po ang pagkakaiba ng PEE at REE. Pareho sa lahat ng provisions that an electrical engineer could practice. Both can do it. Wala pong limit. Ang pagkakaiba lang, hindi pwedeng pumirma o mag-seal si IIEE. It is in violation of RA 7920. Okay. Ang master electrician naman, same field of practice pa rin sa electrical profession natin. But then, there is a limit to the capacity that they could handle. Okay? If the installation or the machinery is rated in excess of 500 kilovolt amperes or in excess of 600 volt amperes, dapat under the supervision sila ng isang PEE or REE. But if the establishment has a maximum capacity of 500 kVA alone, pwede na po ang mag-in-charge sa planta na yon o sa establishment na yon ay isang RME. But if we go beyond, the capacity of the establishment goes beyond 500 kVA, the master electrician must be under the supervision of either a PEE or an REE. Sabi naman sa section 32, prohibitions in the practice of electrical engineering. So may prohibitions pa rin. We are allowed malawak ang ating practice, pero meron pa rin pong prohibitions. Sino lang ang hindi pwedeng mag-practice? The practice or offer to practice electrical engineering in the Philippines without having previously obtained a certificate of registration and a professional license from the Board of Electrical Engineering except as provided for in Section 14 hereof. Ang nasa Section 14, yung foreign nationals. Okay. So B, use or attempt to use as his own certificate of registration, professional license, or the seal of another. Kumbaga, impostor. Letter C, give false or forged evidence of any kind to the board or to any member thereof in obtaining a certificate of registration or professional license. This was very rampant before doon nung buhay pa ang recto. Diba? Maraming individuals na nagpa-practice ng electrical engineering kahit hindi sila legit licensed electrical professional. It's because they were able to secure certificate of registration and professional ID license from Recto. Kasi nung time na yon magaling yung Recto. But now, there are added safety features yung ating license and ating certificate of registration. That's why medyo nahirapan na silang i-duplicate yun. So, these are the prohibitions. Okay? Falsely impersonate any registrant or like, sabi ko nga, impostor. Attempt to use a revoke. Sabi nga, dapat kanina, bago ka mag-upgrade, yung certificate of registration mo ay valid. Hindi siya sinuspend, hindi siya ni-revoke because of any violation. Okay? Or an expired professional license. Sabi ko nga, gusto nyo mag-upgrade into PEE, dapat active kayo. Gusto ng RME mag-upgrade to REE, dapat active pa rin kayo. Okay? Use in connection with his name or otherwise assume, use or advertise any title or description tending to convey the impression that he is a PEE, an REE, an RME without holding a valid certificate or a valid license. Marami sa atin to. Hindi to nawawala. Para lang magkaroon tayo ng sinasabing title, we always love to put a prefix before our name, nakalagay doon, engineer. Tapos sa dulo, comma, nilalagay REE, PEE, kahit hindi naman lisensyado. So we are not allowed to do that. May naglalagay din doon, comma, RME, even if he is not a registered master electrician. So ito po yung sinasabi dito. Advertise any title or description tending to convey the impression. Para pag pinakita mo yung card mo, lalaman nila, wow, engineer to. So you're giving the impression already that you are a licensed engineer even if you are not. So yun po, prohibited na mag-practice yung mga ganong tao. Sign a document. So sabi dito, involving electrical design, plant technical specification, valuation, and the like on behalf of a professional electrical engineer. Andyan mga plano, rampant din yan, alam ng karamihan sa atin. Wala ang PEE ang pumipirma, minsan yung ibang professions. Pangalan lang ni PEE andun, bawal po yan. O di kaya, nasa ibang lugar, si PEE ang pumirma, si kumpare o si ano tawag doon, si Mrs. o yung anak niya, bawal po yun. Hindi po inaalaw yun. Ang pwede lang po pumirma yan, isang PEE na buhay at napagpa-practice at active pa sa profession natin. Okay? So ayaw naman natin na ibigay sa isang tao na hindi na siya active. Ibig sabihin, kapag hindi ka na rin active, hindi ka na aware dun sa mga nangyayari sa profession mo, kung ano mga technology na i-apply, kung ano yung mga changes na i-apply. Kasi nga, pabago-bago, tulad ng mga codes natin, nagkakaroon ng revisions to go with the time. Kasi maraming changes na nangyayari. Okay. So in Article 4, Section 33, this is where we will be focusing more. Sabi nga dito, personnel required. So ang RA 7920, it is focused on the professional itself. Okay. Pag sinabi nating personnel required, except as otherwise provided in this act, every electrical plant, industrial plant or factory, commercial establishment, institutional building, watercraft, electric locomotive, or in any other installation where persons and properties are exposed to electrical hazards shall not have less than the following complement of professional electrical engineer, registered electrical engineer, and registered master electricians. Okay? I have to state this in verbatim kasi po ito yung nakasulat sa ating batas. Ang sabi, dapat meron yung mga establishments ng mga electrical practitioners. Hindi lang basta-bastang electrical practitioners, but they must be licensed electrical practitioners. Yan. Electric plants, sabi nga greater than 500 kVA. Either a PEE or REE. Ulitin ko ulit, wala pong pinagkaiba tungkol sa practice ng electrical engineering profession. Ang PEE at REE, the only difference is the signing and sealing of electrical plants. 500 kVA and below, RME na po ang in charge dyan. Kung mas malaki po ang planta, pwedeng may RME as long as meron pa rin po siyang superior na either PEE or REE. Wala namang problema. And if the establishment has a less than 50 kVA capacity, ang kailangan lang po dyan, hindi na kailang mag-employ ng isang electrical practitioner, but an electrical practitioner must certify na nag-conduct ng yearly inspection sa establishment na yon para ma-ensure yung safe operating condition. Isang licensed electrical professional ang mag-certify po, mag-i-inspect at mag-certify na natignan yung establishment na yan. And then, yung maintenance at saka repair must be done by a licensed electrical professional. So yun po, kasi maraming nagsasabi, mga maliliit na mga establishments ba, kailangan pa ba ng isang engineer? Hindi nakakayanin ng budget. But if it's 50 kVA or below, sabi ko nga, inspection, yearly inspection na lang kailangan. Okay? So bakit kailan pa tayo nangangailangan ng electrical practitioner? An electrical practitioner shall be employed to ensure safety operation and safeguard public welfare. Sa 24-hour operation, kailangan every shift may isang electrical practitioner. Kahit sa isang kumpanya, every shift meron, kahit RME ang nasa per shift, okay lang yon as long as doon sa company na yon meron silang isang engineer. Okay? So it's okay. Dito, kung nakikita ninyo, bakit kailangan natin yung magkaroon ng licensed electrical practitioner? Because gusto natin na yung ating company ay safe, magkaroon ng peace of mind na dapat meron isang professional taking care of the operations and maintenance. Hindi basta-bastang sino lang yung andon. Kasi ang nakasalalay dyan, yung safety ng property and lives. Kung alam nyo, palaging sinasabi, pag may sunog due to faulty electrical wiring or electrical related na accident yung nangyayari. So, ibig sabihin pala, wala nang magaling na electrical engineer kasi karamihan ng sanhi ng sunog ay due to electricity. So, Article 4, Section 30 pa rin, definition ng mga terms pag sinabi natin commercial buildings. Pag sinabing commercial building, office buildings, intended for use primarily sa wholesale, retail, service trades, mga stores, hotels, restaurants, bank, disco houses. Pag sinabing industrial, yan yung warehouse activities, factories, plants, mills, repair shops, machine shop, printing press, storage plant, electric generating plants, power substation, and distribution. Pag sinabing institutional buildings, yung mga schools, mga airports, mga educational facilities. Pag sinabing agricultural buildings, ito yung mga barns, piggeries, poultry, stables, greenhouse, green mills. So, definition of terms ko ano lang yung mga establishment na pinag-uusapan natin. So, as I mentioned a while ago, nag-issue para in the assistance of the PRBE, the solely accredited profession. So, we were given a board resolution number 12 series of 2000. So, ang tagal na, no? 2000, that's 22 years ago, authorizing IIE to render assistance to the Board of Electrical Engineering in the performance of their task. Ano-ano yung mga performance ng mga task na yan na pwedeng gawin ng mga taga-IIEE on behalf of the Board of Electrical Engineering. As we know, dadalawa yung members ng board natin. Isang chairman, isang member, si Sir Francis, saka si Sir Jaime lang. Wala pang third member. So dami ng trabaho nila, hindi na rin nila ma-perform the task that is being written in RA 7920. That's why it's included in the law na pwede nilang hingin ang tulong ng accredited professional organization, which is the IIEE. So ito yung sample ng Board Resolution number 12 series of 2000. Dito sa pinakailalim, sino lang ba ang pwedeng mag-represent doon sa Board of Electrical Engineering? It is very clear here. The board resolved as it hereby resolves to authorize IIEE to render assistance to the board in the performance of its functions under Section 4G of RA 7920 in accordance with the following guidelines. Nakasulat dyan. Sino lang? Mga incumbent national officers of IIEE. Incumbent regional governors of IIEE. The past national presidents with the past 3 years ng IIEE, the immediate and incumbent presidents of chapters of IIEE. Yun lang po yung mga binigyan ng right to do visitations to act on behalf of the Board of Electrical Engineering. So yung board ngayon magre-create ng mga teams which is galing dun kung sino yung ino-honor nila na magkakandak o gagawa ng work nila on behalf of them. So, incumbent national officer or a former president of IIE the past 3 years, a regional governor as their team leader, and 2 incumbent presidents as their members. So, mag-a-appoint siya ng 3 members of a team for 1 year lang po. Bakit 1 year lang? Kasi ang term of office ng mga officers sa IIE is just good for a year. So, yearly lang binabago ng board natin to kung sino yung team na ipapadala nila. So, nakalagay dito sa number 6, okay? The team shall not announce in advance their arrival in the plant to be inspected. It's very clear sa board resolution na yan, di ba? Pero, dinidiscourage tayo ng Board of Electrical Engineering to do this. Kasi pag ginawa natin to, magkakos tayo ng some sort of hindi naman kaguluhan, how would I term it, na hindi pagkakaintindihan between the establishment and the visiting team. So ang gusto yung mangyari ng ating board, magiging cordial tayo. We have to be friendly to them na ang gagawin natin. Kasi minsan kapag nag-conduct tayo ng visitation, unang iisipin nila kapag may ward na inspection, huhuliin kami, may penalty kami, yung mga ganon. Yun yung unang pan sa atin kapag ang term natin, ay may mag-i-inspect dyan, iba ka agad yung ating iniisip. Okay? Nagiging masyadong malayo o malalim yung pinupuntahan na ng isip natin kapag may inspection na sinasabi. No? That's why we are being advised by the Board of Electrical Engineering that we could do it cordially. How? We have to make an appointment with them, na may magbi-visit sa kanila. And then pagsasabihin ano ang agenda, we would just be discussing RA 7920 because this law has been there for years but not yet being fully implemented. So let's just be cordial kasi wala tayong police power. So ang gagawin lang natin, it's some sort of assistance to them to be compliant to RA 7920. Kasi pag medyo maangas yung dating natin, lalong may resistance galing sa mga establishments. Okay? So after that, ngayon, pag nakapag-inspect, nagpunta doon, you will be having a report that would be duly submitted to the Board of Electrical Engineers kung ano yung nangyari doon sa visit ninyo. Kasi from that visit, isusulat ninyo anong pangalan ng kumpanya, nasaan yung kumpanya, kasi ang pwede lang mag-visit yan, yung chapter na under ng jurisdiction nila. Then, type of business, anong nature of business, ano yung machines installed, sino-sino electrical practitioner ang employed doon, ano ang condition ng planta, nung nakita nyo ba, properly maintained ba yung mga electrical equipment, nakita nyo ba na compliant sila sa standards na ginagamit nila. So yun yung makikita ninyo, i-evaluate kung ano yung makikita pag nagbisita, and from that, kung ano yung nakita o ano yung napag-usapan, kung ano yung mga documents or records that has been presented to you, that's the time that you would evaluate kung meron silang mga violations, hindi sila compliant. That's the time that the team would recommend or give a report to the Board of Electrical Engineering. Okay? So this resolution has been signed then by the Chairman of the Board of Electrical Engineering last 2000, Cesar Rodi Peñalosa, with his team, Antonio C. Coronel and Engineer Jose B. Abenoja. Okay? So, yan. Ito yung limitations. I discussed this already a while ago. Yung generating capacity and connected load, PE and REE, the same practice. Signing and sealing lang difference. RME, 500 kVA below lang. Ang pwedeng ang practice na pwede niyang gawin sa mga establishments. Okay. Section 34, Preparation of Plans, Supervision of Installation, Application of the Philippine Electrical Code. We all know na meron tayong electrical code used as a standard for us to do our design, computations, valuation. So, nire-revise ang ating electrical code every now and then. That goes with time. And we adopt other codes from abroad para at least maging standardized siya. So, this is a code that is being used by all of us pagdating sa design. So sa preparation ng plans and supervision ng installation, it is unlawful for any person not authorized under this act to prepare, design, valuation, or specification for any electrical wiring, equipment, or system, and no installation thereof shall be undertaken unless the plans, designs, valuation, specifications have been prepared by or under the responsible charge and signed and sealed by a professional electrical engineer. And a construction permit for the execution thereof is first secured. And unless the work is done in accordance with the Philippine Electrical Code and is executed under the responsible charge or supervision of a professional electrical engineer, a registered electrical engineer, or a registered master electrician, as the case may be, and the routinary fiscal and ministerial requirement of the government agency, if any, exercising jurisdiction over the particular installation have been complied with. So it's very clear here that the person should prepare only the plans, valuation, and everything under the charge of a professional electrical engineer, REE and RME. Kasi meron naman tayong mga draftsman, minsan meron tayong mga ibang engineers from other professions who are doing the electrical plans. It is not allowed. Diba? Kasi hindi naman yun yung profession nila. Sa atin, meron tayong mga young engineers under our charge, but with our supervision, responsible pa rin naman tayo doon. Okay? Next, practice not allowed for firms and corporations. As I would like to share, this section 35 for certain professionals is vague. So there is a professional coming from our organization, a colleague of ours, has raised a concern regarding this section 35 about a company, a corporation. So, minsan kapag business ang pinag-uusapan, nagkakaroon tayo ng hindi pagkakaunawaan. Kapag natalo sa mga bidding, so naghahanapan ngayon ng butas, parang ganon. So, we must always exercise our ethical values. It's imbibed in our profession. Kasi before we took the examination, we should know our code of ethics. So, eto, question, may nag-raise ng case regarding this section 35. And I raised this to our Chairman, Board of Electrical Engineering, Sir Francis Mapili, regarding this one. Even if it's already very clear, word for word, we have to understand it. Basahin natin. Practice not allowed for firms and corporations. The practice of electrical engineering is a professional service admission to which is based on individual or personal qualifications. Why? It is us individuals who studied electrical engineering and took the examinations. Individuals yan. Hindi yan kumpanya. Kung nasa kumpanya ka man na nagtratrabaho ka as an electrical engineer, you have the responsibility. Sabi nga, great power comes great responsibility. It's not just for us to have our license na pwedeng ipagyabang, lisensyado ako, engineer ako, nakasulat, pipirma ako, engineer ako. That's not it. We have a responsibility. Yun yung palaging isipin dapat ng bawat isa sa atin, na yun din yung sinasabi ko sa mga graduating students, that when they get their license, it's not about yung the license itself, but it should be more about the responsibility ng isang engineer. Na hawak mo, naging inhinyero ka, dahil alam mo yung ginagawa mo and you are facing that responsibility, whatever responsibility ang kaakibat ng lisensyang iyon. Okay, so sabi dito, hence, no firm or corporation may be registered or licensed as such for the practice of electrical engineering. Kung nakikita natin mga companies, nakalagay doon, electrical engineering services. Yes, it's just the name of the company, but the company does not perform or engage to it. Yung mga individuals, yung mga engineers under that company, ang may sole responsibility pa rin. Okay, so persons properly qualified and licensed as professional electrical engineers. Pag sinasabing professional electrical engineers, we are referring to the licensed practitioners, may among themselves form a partnership association and collectively render electrical engineering service. And sinasabi ko, pwede magtayo naman ng kumpanya yung mga magkakaibigan na lahat nasa electrical engineering profession. Individual members of such partnership or associations shall be responsible for their own respective acts. So that is very clear in Section 35. Tayo pa rin ang may responsibility doon sa mga ginagawa nating designs. Napaka-importante sa ginagawa nating mga installations, mga electrical construction. It's the individuals, because the individuals, sila yung nag-take ng licensure exam, and having the license, it only means nang pag naipasa naman natin, di ba, alam natin, na ibig sabihin nun, alam natin yung ginagawa natin kasi naipasa natin yung exam na yan. So, we are responsible for any action that we will be taking. Okay. So, eto ngayon, very important din para sa peace of mind of everybody and for the safety of property and lives. Article 4, Section 36. If you notice when you go to the hospitals, when you go to your doctors, magpapa-check up lang kayo, o di kaya pupunta kayo sa laboratory, papakuha kayo ng blood test, papakuha kayo ng x-ray, any test in a hospital. Di ba nakikita natin sa walls, their certificate of registration. Para yung mga tao na pupunta doon, may peace of mind sila that the people attending to them are all professionals, are licensed people. Ibig sabihin, this is an expert, this is an skilled person doon sa kanyang area of expertise because nakapasa siya ng board. Sa atin, gusto ba nating magpatingin o magpunta sa doktor na hindi lisensyado? We don't want. Ang kukuha ba ng blood natin, hindi siya lisensyadong medical technologist? We don't want. Ang gusto natin, yung lisensyado, para at least nakakasiguro tayo na alam niya yung ginagawa niya. Di ba? Ganon din tayo as electrical engineers. Doon sa mga companies ninyo, kung pwede, pakiusapan ninyo yung mga big boss ninyo na mag-comply sa Section 36, posting of certificates. Ano yung mga certificates na to? Certificate of Personal Compliance. Ibig sabihin, the people attending, managing, operating, maintaining the establishment that you are working in is a licensed electrical professional. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng tao na andun sa loob, na nagtatrabaho, mga nagbibisita doon, na nagpupunta doon, pagpasok nila, safe, electrically safe sila. It's because the people who are maintaining the establishment or the facilities in that certain company are all licensed. So they have the responsibility. Sabi ko nga, yung lisensya natin, may kaakibat na responsibility yon na dapat pinoprotektahan natin ang ating kababayan at saka yung mga property ng ating pinagtatrabahuan kasi sila ay nagbibigay sa atin ng pangkabuhayan. That's why I encourage everyone, if your company is not yet RA 7920 Section 36 compliant, please, you could talk to the owner or the manager or your immediate superior that you should do something about it. Para at least kapag compliant kayo, pagpasok ng isang bisita o ni isang tao o ng pamilya ninyo na dadalaw sa opisina ninyo, may peace of mind sila na electrically safe sila. Kasi ang mga andon ay mga licensed electrical practitioners who are maintaining the facilities of such company. Sabi dito, owner, manager, or the person in charge of electrical plant, industrial plant, or factory, commercial establishment, institutional building, watercraft, electric locomotive, shall post or cause to be posted in a conspicuous place within such plant or establishment the certificate of registration of the engineers or electricians employed in such plant or establishment in a frame protected by transparent glass of equivalent. Kung saan yung pagpasok at makikita ka agad Diba? Ganon din sa mga hospitals. Pagpasok natin sa mga kwarto ng mga doktor, nakapaskil doon. Uy, lisensyado siya. Pag may kinukuha ng dugo sa atin, nakaupo. If you roam around, titignan ninyo paligid niyo, andun nakapaskil yung medical technologist na kumukuha ng dugo mo. So, ganun lang, peace of mind that the people attending to you are professionals and they are good at their field. Okay. So, eto, papasok na yon ang posting of certificate, electrical compliance. Why do we have to do this? As I've said, to ensure safety of property and lives. Diba? Palaging nagkakaroon ng, due to electricity issues, nagkakaroon ng sunog. Ayaw natin na, alam naman natin, ng electricity at an instant, it could kill a person. Pwede mawala ang ari-arian. Pwede mawala lahat. Diba? So that's why, as I've said, I'm encouraging you, if you work in any establishment that is not yet compliant, please help your company to be compliant. Paano ang gagawin? Magpunta lang sa website ng www.prc.gov.ph. All you have to do is download doon sa Standards and Inspection Division. I-download ninyo yung mga forms. Ano yung mga forms na yon? Kailangan yung forms SID, ito, SID-BE 010304. Yan yung Standards and Inspection Division, Board of Electrical Engineering, Forms 1, Forms 3, and Forms 4. Nakalagay dito, very specific pa. Secure in long folder with faster the application form, notarized Forms 3 and 4. Copies of the PRC ID, PTR ng electrical personnel na nag-work doon sa company na yon, and an endorsement letter from IIEE chapter where the establishment belongs. Okay? So provide one short brown envelope and one documentary stamp. Alam naman natin kapag gobyerno palaging may documentary stamp. Then after that, after preparing all the forms, kasi yung form 1 is just a checklist. Then proceed to the Standards and Inspection Division or in any PRC regional office near you for assessment and evaluation as to the completeness of documents that you are submitting. Ang isasubmit mo lang naman yung nakanotaryong 3 and 4, tapos yung kopya ng PRC license mo, tapos mag-secure ka ng professional tax receipt mo, di ba? Tapos kukuha ka dun sa chapter where the establishment belongs, the endorsement ng letter. And then, i-check at magbabayad ka ng 2,000 pesos application fee. Okay? Keep in mind that the 2,000 pesos is already good for 3 years. So, ibig sabihin, kapag naging compliant ka na dyan, na-ensure mo na safe na yung place ninyo, what is 2,000 pesos for 3 years? If you divide that into 3, around less than 700 pesos a year lang gagastusin ng kumpanya. Hindi naman napakalaki. Di ba? And then after submitting all the requirements, you have to wait for the notice of approval coming from PRC-SID. Kapag nakakuha na kayo ng notice of approval, pwede nang kunin yung certificate of personnel compliance sa PRC. Kapag yung tao na in charge doon sa establishment cannot get it, then magbibigay siya ng special power of attorney to the person who would claim the certificate of compliance together with a valid ID. Then after that, pag nakuha na yung certificate of compliance, ipopost nyo na ngayon doon sa kumpanya ninyo. Tulad na rin tayo ng mga doktor, mga medical technologists na dapat andun nakapaskil yung certificate of registration tsaka ID nung electrical practitioner na nagme-maintain ng facilities ng kumpanya. See? Napakadali lang para lang magkaroon ng peace of mind of everybody. Sabi ko nga, mahirap lang dito kasi you would be taking the responsibility. But then as long as you know kung ano yung ginagawa nyo, we were able to pass the exam, ibig sabihin, nabigyan tayo ng lisensya, alam natin yung ginagawa natin, then there's nothing for us to worry. Okay? So ito yung sinasabi ko, ito yung Form 1 is just a checklist. Sinasabi dito, duly accomplished in 2 forms, yung Form 3 ng Standards and Investigation Division, 2 copies and properly notarized, a fixed documentary stamp to the original copy, payment for certificate of compliance na 2,000 pesos. Number 3, affidavit ng engineer na nakalista doon sa Form 1. As a Form 1, duly accomplished and properly notarized again. Photocopy ng ID mo or professional PEE, REE, or RME ka na nakalagay dito dun sa Form 2. Photocopy ng PTR mo. This can be, you can get it yearly sa ating mga LGUs. Original copy ng inspection report or recommendation or certification ng IIEE or endorsement letter na talagang na-check nila, na-evaluate nila yung planta o yung establishment na okay naman, na may mga tao doon, so they would be endorsing it na walang violation. And then you'll be submitting. Bibigay nyo, babalikan kayo. Yun lang, ito lang, list of forms or checklist that you would be doing. Okay. So ito ang sample ng Form 2. Isusulat nyo yan kung sino yung mga pangalan ng firm. Nasaan siya, ano yung mga service loads nila, mga information regarding the company. Okay? Tapos dito, sa ilalim, kung ilan na electrical practitioner ang nasa kumpanyang yon. Okay? So nakasulat diyan mga pangalan nila, PRC license nila, 'di ba? Tapos dun sa Form 4 nakasulat kung sino yung talagang in charge ng operation. Kasi hindi naman lahat, kung 5 kayo naka-employ, lahat kayo may boss pa rin kayo. Pero kasama kayo doon na nagma-manage o nagme-maintain ng company. Okay? So after this, may item 3 pa rin kayo, nakasulat pa rin dyan. Okay? Personnel of firms naman using supply or using electrical power, nakasulat. Tapos, dito, pipirma ngayon kung sino yung taong in charge. Okay? So, may taong in charge sa inyo. Ito naman yung sample ng affidavit. Dito na ipapasok that you are a licensed electrical practitioner, that you have this license number with a validity, that you are the resident electrical practitioner of that company. So, ito na yung mabigat kasi may affidavit kayo. Okay? Na talagang minemaintain ninyo according to standard yung inyong mga kumpanya. So, Modernization Act is just strengthening of RA 7920. Ito yung sample ng ID natin. Tapos, sample ng PTR. You could get it every year sa LGU. And then, recommendation letter from inspection team galing sa chapter. This is just a sample. Ito naman yung 50 kVA below, yung annual electrical inspection dun sa mga hindi na need na mag-employ ng electrical practitioner. This is just a sample. And then Board of Electrical Engineers that susulatan kayo, may notice of approval that your applications for the certificate of personal of compliance has been approved or it has been disapproved. May letter magagaling sa PRC. Okay? So nakalagay dito, in this example, nakalagay dito na approve siya that the certificate of compliance shall be valid for a period of 3 years. Okay, so nasulat doon. And then ito ang sample ng certificate of registration ng isang electrical engineer. Ito naman yung sample certificate of compliance na in-issue na ng Board of Electrical Engineers doon sa mga companies or establishment. As you could see, from 2013 to 2016, it is valid for 3 years. Sometimes, doon sa certificate of compliance, hindi na nakasulat hanggang sa kailan. But bear in mind that it is good for 3 years. Kung nakalagay dyan 2013 lang, o kung nakalagay lang 2022 lang plus 3 years, that is 2025. Up to year 2025 ang validity. Until when, makikita mo naman sa ilalim kung kailan na-issue. So you just count it, that is good for 3 years. And then, sabi nga natin that RA 7920 is already on its 27th year, but then it is not yet fully implemented. Kasi there are some LGUs that they don't implement it. There are some agencies that they don't implement it. Para makatulong na rin lang tayo for the full implementation, if you know someone from the local government, pwede tayong mag-lobby to have a ordinance. Okay? Kasi meron nang nagawa ang Southern Laguna, nakausap nila, nagkaroon ng city ordinance. So, talagang sa city of San Pablo pala, Southern Laguna, compliant sila sa 7920. As in, walang renewal ng mga business permits unless na dapat na-check ng mga taga-IIEE o di kaya inspection doon sa mga companies, mga establishments, ginagawa talaga. Okay, so pwede kayong mag-seek kung meron kayong kilala na magkaroon ng ordinance para at least mapabilis natin yung implementation. Or di kaya, pag kayo naman, matataas na yung mga positions ninyo sa mga LGUs, kilala niyo yung mga OBO, pwede tayong mag-conduct sa kanila ng some sort of presentation or discussion laying our need for them to know yung dissemination information natin regarding the existence of RA 7920. Okay? Other options that can easily implemented by the new EE law, pwede tayong mag-write sa mga establishments to reiterate yung mandatory requirement ng RA 7920. Tulad ng Makati City, di ba? Ito sample sa San Pablo to, yung kanilang ordinance na ginawa, which is pinapractice up to this date, mula noong 2004. Yan, City of San Pablo, local board, na ilabas. So, ito yung sa City of San Pablo, nagkaroon ng circular. Ordinance Implementation and Enforcement of the New Electrical Engineering Law RA 7920. See? Yan o. Shall pay an annual professional registration. Ito yung PTR. With a total connected load of 50 kilowatts above. Yan. Dapat sinecertify ng isang PEE or isang REE or REE. So talagang ipina-implement nila ang 7920. Ito naman sa Makati, as I've said, before sila makapag-renew ng kanilang business permits, nagkaroon ng reiteration of certain provisions ng RA 7920 sa lahat ng building owners and building managers, administrators, yung Section 33 natin at saka Section 36. So, with the help of everyone, pwede nating magawa ito. Tulad niyan, ang OIC nun, isang PEE, so na-push niya to. Diba? So, lahat, kung may, sabi nga, kung gusto, maraming paraan. Kung ayaw, maraming dahilan. So, Certificate of Specialty, this has been discussed last annual National Convention, na pwede kayong kumuha ng Certificate of Specialty ninyo kung ano yung specialty ninyo with the practice of electrical engineering. And I apologize, I was not able to get the guidelines that was approved by the specialty board. But then, pwede kayong mag-apply kung ano yung specialty ng bawat isa sa atin. Then in Section 39, sabi nga, enforcement of the law, dapat magtulungan tayo. Ito yung penalty clause, kaya nga walang nagsumiseryesa sa atin kasi ang baba pa ng penalty natin, a fine of 10,000. Magkano lang to sa mga malalaking companies if they don't comply, di ba? So it's about time for us to amend or to have a new electrical engineering law that is timely for these times. So, that ends my presentation. Thank you, guys.
All right. So, thank you, Natsec. No? Grabe na talagang timely yung ating topic for today, no, about RA 7920. And of course, ako personally dito sa company namin, no, yun, ipupush, no, tayo yung magiging naka-front, no, as a LEP, tayo yung nakakaalam ng RA 7920. Tulungan po natin yung organization natin na i-push natin yung dissemination ng information. Natsec, may mga question dito.
Yeah.
I think nasagot siya during the presentation, yung about sa payment.
The 2,000 pesos, that is good for 3 years. So, ibig sabihin yan, ha, guys, it's just 700, less than 700 pesos a year lang gagastusin ng company.
Kaya nga po, ma'am, 3K, good for 3 years na po yun. So,
yeah, 2K lang.
2K lang po. Okay. May nag-raise ng hand, no? Si Sir June, no? Acknowledge Sir June, yung may, unmute.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir, may question lang ako kay ma'am po. Yeah. Meron kasi ako mga projects po sa mga province. Merong mga parang 2010 yata. Minsan na-experience ko, meron akong mga in-apply ng mga metro. Meron akong parang form na pinil-upan. Hindi sila nag-acknowledge ng pirma ng REE or PEE. Ang sabi sa akin, kailangan ko rin humanap ng authorized barangay electrician para dun magpapirma dahil yun lang ang ina-acknowledge nila.
Nakakasakit naman yan sa atin as licensed electrical practitioners na tayong mga expert sa electrical engineering profession, tayo pa ang magpapapirma. Hindi naman natin minamaliit ang mga barangay electricians. But then, parang masakit naman para sa atin, di ba?
Yes,
na tayo pa ang magpapapirma sa isang barangay electrician. Tayo nga yung lisensyado na dapat magsabi sa kanila kung ano yung tama. Kasi we are the experts kung tutuusin. No? What certain establishment or company kaya ito, sir? Bakit ganon yung kanilang polisiya sa kanilang kumpanya?
Ma'am, ano yan yan ang mga counterpart ng Meralco dun sa mga lugar ng sa mga provinces.
Mga co-op.
Mga co-op mismo yan, ma'am. Parang pagkatanda ko, parang Birac Catanduanes yata yan or Surigao. Hindi ko maalala, ma'am, pero parang banda roon Baka Birac siguro, ma'am. Ang question ko, ma'am, hindi ko alam bakit mayroong mga ganyang rules. Alam ba ng IIEE ang mga ganyang klaseng patakaran?
Hindi aware si IIEE hanggat walang nagre-raise kay IIEE. So, yun nga yung sinasabi ko, kung meron kayo nakikitang mga violations, kailangan nating i-document. Kasi the Board of Electrical Engineering would not listen to us if it's not documented. Kasi baka sabihin lang sa atin, it's just a hearsay. Mahirap kasi ang hearsay. Dapat may hawak tayong mga documents to prove our allegations. Diba? Mm-hmm. So kapag meron kayong mga experiences regarding those things, gather evidences so that we could raise a case against those parties na masyadong minamaliit naman yung mga electrical practitioners natin.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
No worries. Are there any other questions? Meron yatang question dito, Sir Marvin.
Sorry, nakamute pala ako. Yes, ma'am. From Sir Manolito, no? Why there are some company daw po na employ a building or facility that are not PRC licensed nor have technical background. No? Should we encourage the company to promote their licensed engineer as building or facility manager?
Yeah, if you are part of the management team of your company, it is good for you or the best for you to do is to talk to the higher up regarding this kind of position. You just explain to them about the safety of property and lives, that this kind of position must be manned by a licensed electrical practitioner because that is their expertise. Kasi minsan, hindi rin kasi maiwasan sa mga owners, no? Ang pinapaupo nila doon kung sino yung malakas sa kanila, pinagkakatiwalaan nila. Hindi naalis yan sa atin Nag-e-employ sila ng tao that they could trust, people that they know or people that they could pay lesser than a professional. So nangyayari talaga. It's a reality of life. But then, if you are really concerned about the safety of everyone, especially yung mga kasamahan or sino man kung ano ang nature ng business yan, you should raise this concern. Maybe you could have a building administrator, and aside from the building administrator, there should be a facility manager that would be in charge of the maintenance and management of the facilities that is separate to the building administrator. Yun lang.
Thank you, Natsec. Natsec, may nagre-request po ng sample ordinance from Sir Rudy. Sample ordinance daw ng RA 1720 San Pablo.
Yeah, I'll be sending to you, Sir Mervin, yung mga forms, mga sample forms, so that you could share to anyone who would be asking from you, no?
Yes po. Ayun, okay. May nag-raise po ng hand, no? Sir Carl, acknowledge po. You may unmute. Sir Carl Pilagyo.
Yes sir, correction ko lang yung kanina sa tungkol sa Berang Catanduanes, taga Catanduanes chapter kasi ako eh. So, totoo po 'yon. Totoo po. Na ganun ang nangyayari diyan sa Catanduanes, na barangay electrician ang hinahanap. Kasi ang nangyayari diyan, ang ID ng mga RME, valid ID lang. So noon 'yon. Pero ngayon,
ngayon hindi na.
Hindi naman na ngayon. Kasi okay, walang PEE ang Catanduanes. Walang PEE. Ang mangyayari, lahat ng magpapatayo ng bahay, papapirma, so idadaan nila sa IIEE. Ang pipirma niyan ay RE or RME. Kasi wala tayong PEE sa Catanduanes.
Basta merong mutual understanding ang electric co-op at saka ang IIEE. So rest assured.
Yes po. Usually ang nagpo-push po niyan si co-op. May barangay electrician silang nire-recommend na yun ang pipirma.
Okay.
Pero usually ngayon by lugar naman meron ng RME. Meron ng REE.
Yun. Maganda yun. At least, di ba, meron ng pagbabago. Kasi kailangan din nating i-promote yung ating profession. Hindi lang dahil sa safety, para na rin magkaroon ng trabaho ang bawat isa sa atin. No? Kasi marami pang mga gagraduate na naman, so kailangan ng jobs. And we don't want them to go to jobs na hindi naman related dun sa course na tinapos nila. So it's better for us to promote this para safety at the same time employment ang ma-address natin. Yes.
Okay yan po. Yun lang po. Salamat po.
Yeah. Sir Mervin, meron dito si Sir Mario Tavara daw. Need assistance daw in their facility. Sir Mervin, you could coordinate with your chapter regarding this para at least magkaroon ng visitation, tawag natin, hindi inspection, no? Para at least maging cordial tayo. Magkaroon ng visitation with the company para at least mai-promote natin yung RA 7920.
Si Sir Mario po ba ay Sir Mario, pwede po ba kayong mag-unmute? Or maybe
Hello.
Yes, sir. Opo. Regarding po dun sa assistance. Opo. Yes, sir. Please proceed po.
Actually, bagong engineering manager ako dito sa isang facility dito sa Batangas. And then, ang dami kong nakikita na problema in terms of electrical. Although hindi ako ngayong, actually, lisensya ko sa RE is not-expired na. So, wala pa akong time na makapag-renew. And yun nga, ang problema ko lang dito talaga is parang may na-overlook dito sa facility in terms of electrical. Kumbaga, maraming problema tayong minana doon sa mga nakaraang rehimen o management. So I'm trying to correct everything. And yun nga, as a previous electrical engineer, marami akong nakitang lapses sa electrical side. So, if ever na ako, kasi hindi pa ako nakapag-restro sa chapter dyan sa Southern Cavite, Siguro, I will send you a different mail and how to proceed to way forward. Yun lang po.
Okay, thank you, Sir Mario. No, that's a good decision for you para at least mapa-implement din natin ang RA 7920. And what you're doing now is good kasi talagang inaayos mo yung mga electrical equipment mo dyan, mga facilities mo related to electrical engineering. And para makapag-apply tayo o para may exact katuparan natin yung implementation ng RA 7920, I advise you to renew your license para at least pag may nagtanong sa'yo, at least masabi mo na talagang lisensyado ka and you are really true to your words. Kasi baka sabihin nila nagsasalita kayo, hindi naman kayo, ano tawag doon, expired naman yung license ninyo. So it's I advise na mag-renew na po kayo, kuha lang kayo ng Certificate of Good Standing sa Southern Cavite, and then you just what do you call this, make an appointment online sa PRC kasi online na po lahat, Sir Mario, even sa COGS, lahat po ng ating application for the renewal, naka-online na po tayo.
Yes.
Mag-online appointment
kasi,
na po. Kasi
recently
matagal.
I used to work. Yeah. Because recently I used to work abroad, kaya medyo hindi ko na na-renew yung license ko to practice locally. But I'm trying to coordinate to some electrical practitioners dito. Actually, I'm in contact with Boss Peñalosa, kay Boss Roddy.
Kay Sir Roddy Peñalosa, former chairman. Wala si Sir.
Wala si Sir. Yun, maganda po yung yung hangarin ni Sir, no. Of course sa ating mga practitioner, no. For example, sa mga establishment natin, no, we can start na po yung isa sa mga na-discuss ni NATSEC, yung Certificate of Compliance. So napakahalaga po nun. Although halos bilang pa po yung mga establishment na talagang compliant sa minimum personnel na kailangan. NATSEC, may question pa po dito. Available po kaya sa sa website natin yung mga forms?
Yung mga forms, as I've said, it's downloadable sa PRC, yung forms 1, 3, and 4. But yung mga affidavits, it's may pro forma yan. I could send to you a copy, then they could just type it. No, yung may mga forms kasi na hindi available sa website tulad ng mga affidavit. Pero yung mga application forms yung checklist, yung 3 and 4, available naman siya sa prc.gov.ph. Sa SID, Standards and Investigation Division, you could check it. Yun yung mga available na forms. Pero yung mga affidavit, I'm not sure, hindi mo makikita doon kasi ang affidavit, usually, they come from the legal office, no? Kasi pag nagpupunta ka, magpapanotaryo ka, ang babayaran mo na lang yung stamp ng notaryo ng attorney. Kung wala kang hawak na template o pro forma, i-charge ka pa rin nila. It would be an additional charge for you. Mahal sila mag-charge kapag sila pa yung gagawa ng affidavit. I would be sending to you a copy of the affidavit and a copy of the endorsement letter that you could type using yung endorsement letter using the letterhead of your chapter, pwede kapag mag-endorse kayo. And then the affidavit as is lang, a simple paper that you could type, then fill it out, ipanotarize para mas mura. Ganun lang yun. I'll be sending to you, Marbury.
Thank you, NATSEC. Actually, yan, isa-submit ay i-share na lang po namin sa inyo. No? May email address naman po. Forward na lang po namin sa inyo, including the presentation i-share po sa atin ni NATSEC po yan. May question po dito from Sir Arnel. Good morning po. Do we consider our profession is hazardous, especially in a medium or high voltage works po? If yes po, meron po bang proposal sa ating EELO to consider na magkaroon ng additional hazard pay benefits? Thanks po.
Yes, medium and high voltage is really a source of danger. Kaya nakalagay doon, di ba, hazardous. High voltage, do not enter. Di ba? Only authorized electrical people are allowed to enter. Kasi yun yung mga experts. Tungkol dyan sa hazard pay, no, wala sa batas natin kasi ang tungkol sa finances. Yung financial matters related to our profession, hindi na isasama dun sa batas natin. Usually kasi ang pay that would depend on the owner, employer. Employer initiated kasi yan item sa atin yung pagkakaroon ng hazardous pay. So, pwede naman siguro mag-request. If I were you, you could talk to your HR. That's the best thing that you could do. Then lay your cards. Bakit kailangan mo yon? Kasi dapat may insurance din kayo. Kapag kayo nag-handle ng high voltage, hindi lang yung hazard pay ang kailangan yung hingin sa inyong mga employers. I also advise na dapat meron din kayong insurance. Kasi alam natin, di ba, kapag hindi kayo gumamit ng proper PPE at pumapasok kayo sa mga kwartong yan, sa mga areang yan, at risk talaga ang buhay ng bawat isa sa atin. Kasi konting pagkakamali lang, pwede ka nang masunog. Konting pagkakamali lang, ikakamatay na natin. So I urge everyone, you could talk sa HR kasi ang HR sila yung in charge yan para maipakita kung ano yung risk, yung danger na napopost sa mga positions na meron kayo sa company. Kasi ang company dapat ang managot dyan, tungkol dyan.
Okay, thank you. From Sir Antonio, no? Good morning po. Dito po sa amin, Quezon, Palawan, mga barangay electrician nangungontrata ng mga electrical installation and mga lineman ng electric cooperative. I think the issue here is yung mga barangay electrician natin. Sa mga remote or I think mga malalayong lugar talaga, ma'am, ay barangay electrician pa po talaga.
O yun yung hindi talaga natin maiiwasan, lalo na mga sa remote areas. Sabi nga sa inyo nagpalit lang ng bumbilya.
Electrician na.
Sasabihin na niya sa sarili niya, electrician na siya.
Basta umilaw.
Basta umilaw, napalitan niya, electrician na siya. Kasama siya sa pag-construct ng bahay. Tinignan niya kung anong ginagawa ni electrician. Ganun lang pala. Kukuha na siya ng kontrata. Hindi niya alam na kailangan pang i-compute gano'ng kakapal yung wire mo, ano yung rating na maikakabit. Nakita lang niya na ganun lang pala. Yun kasi, you know what, it all boils down to poverty. Kasi pagkakakitaan yan. Anything na pagkakakitaan, kahit sabihin natin against the law, papasukin at papasukin ng mga kababayan natin. That's why I encourage everyone na magkaroon ng information dissemination kung ano yung mga dangers na nagagawa ng gumagalaw sa electricity na hindi alam, na hindi sila expert. Lalo na kapag may mga nakikilala kayo, mga electricians, barangay electricians, yung sabi ko nga, ikinabit lang yung bumbilya ng bahay ng kapitbahay, sinabi na niyang electrician siya. You could correct them. You could call their attention na yung mga ginagawa nila, it's not just about yung earnings nila, it's not just about what they receive for that certain day, but then yung kaya ba ng konsensya nila na yung mga ginawa nila, winairingan nila, na-installan nila, safe para dun sa taong nakatira dun. Sometimes nasa atin din. Let's consider ourselves. Kinukuha natin sa mga construction ng bahay natin, hindi natin binibigyan ng budget yung mga sa electrical side Di ba? Kinukuha natin yung mga magaling na dyan, pwede na yan, kaya naman niya yan. It's because magbabayad tayo ng mas mura. Hindi natin naiisip, in the long run, it's our safety at risk yan. Diba? So, let's start from ourselves na dapat i-promote natin na in anything that has to do with electricity, they have to consult and employ a licensed electrical practitioner on.
So, of course, tayo po yung katulad na sinabi ko, tayo naka-front po dito, tayo yung nakakaalam. So, tayo po yung makakatulong na sa ating organization para ma-disseminate yung ating RA 7920. Okay, from Sir George, no, ano ang pinagkaiba ng Master Electrician versus TESDA 3-month graduate? Kasi mas priority sila sa company. Ang issue dito is about prioritization ng mga company. NC2, I think NC2 ito, ma'am. Building, wiring, installation, maintenance.
So if you're talking about the registered master electrician, no, at saka yung mga NC2, mga TESDA graduates, malaking pagkakaiba niyan. Kasi tayo, lisensyado tayo. Lisensyado ang mga electricians natin, sinacertify nila na yung gawa nila ay pulido. Alam nila yung ginagawa nila. So itong mga TESDA, they just acquired skills. Skills kasi to Magkaiba kasi yung license at saka skill. Ikaw, lisensyado kang gumalaw, ibig sabihin lahat ng kaakibat, lahat ng na nasasakupan ng iyong kaalaman, kaya mong gawin kasi binigyan ka ng lisensyang gawin yon. Ang TESDA, skills yan. Natutunan nila yan. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan pa rin ng mga galing sa TESDA ng supervision at saka ng pagtuturo ng mga lisensyadong master electricians. Yes, bakit mas gusto nila ang mga graduate ng TESDA? Sinabi ko na nga kasi mas mura sila. Mas mura yung singil nila, nagtitipid sila, na hindi nila alam na nagpo-post ng risk yung ginagawa nila na pagha-hire ng mga skilled. Hindi natin minamatay yung mga skilled kasi kailangan din natin silang turuan kung ano yung tama. Kumbaga, yung mga skills na kasing ito, parang sinasabi natin, sila yung magiging labor natin kapag they do the menial works doon sa mga projects, doon sa mga companies. That's why kailangan pa rin ng supervision ng isang licensed electrical professionals, yung mga skilled technicians, skilled electricians natin. Kasi yung kaalaman nila ay hindi kasing lalim ng kaalaman ng isang lisensyadong master electrician. Kumbaga, sa kanila, kung paano mag-cut, paano mag-connect, paano magbalot, yun yung mga alam nila Pero ang master electrician, ang alam niya ano ang size ng wire, paano ang proper na pagtiklop noon, ano ang size ng breaker na ikakabit, paano ang proper wiring installation ng wire. Yun yung alam ng mga electrician. Ang mga TESDA, paano i-cut, paano ikabit, yun lang paano mag-lay, paano i-pull, yun yung mga alam nila. That's the difference.
So malaki
ma'am,
talaga.
excuse me po. Sir, excuse me po. Pwede po ba akong magtanong, sir?
Yes, sir. Please proceed po.
Sir, ganito po. Nasa form po ako ng education. Board passer din po ako ng RME. Pero may question lang po ako. Paano po ba natin maalis? O kahit po kay ma'am, maalis yung discrimination natin kasi when it comes po sa pag-aaral pagdating sa electrical, meron po tayong TESDA. Siyempre, meron po din tayo yung tinatawag nating license tayo. Kaso ang pagkakaiba kasi, sir, pagdating na sa, halimbawa, nagtuturo ka, tapos hindi lisensyado yung iyong nagtuturo. Pagdating po sa TESDA, sir, pagdating po sa TESDA, nagkakaroon po kasi ng discrimination. So paano po ba natin ito maiiwasan yung mga ganitong pagkakataon?
Yung nagtuturo ay hindi lisensyado?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yan ngayon yung inaayos ng ating Board of Electrical Engineering. Kaya nagkakaroon sila ngayon ng parang pag-uusap ng TESDA na dapat kahit saang technical or vocational school ka na once na magturo ka relating sa electrical ay dapat lisensyado ka. Yun yung tinitingnan. Kasi ang pinopromote ni TESDA, more on skills Skills ng skills siya. Hindi niya alam na meron na siyang nababanggang mga profession. Hindi lang electrical ang nababangga ni TESDA.
Yes,
ang daming mga profession. Marami na siyang nababangga kasi prinopromote niya yung skills ng mga tao para at least umangat yung livelihood ng mga taong nasa baba. Pero yun nga, marami siyang nababangga. So ngayon, ang alam ko, may nakita na akong mga documents na pinag-uusapan ng TESDA at saka ng PRC mismo kasi hindi lang electrical engineering ang affected dyan. So nag-uusap na sila para at least lahat ng mai-employ na magtuturo ay sana ay mga lisensyado. Pero ang alam ko na umpisahan na yan eh. Nagkaroon na ng parang MOA ang IIEE before tungkol dyan na dapat may certain area lang kasi na ang dapat nagtuturo ay mga licensed electrical professionals para at least naman yung mga matututunan ng mga TESDA tama. 'Di ba? 'Yun.
Opo, ma'am. Kaya po, ma'am, nagkakaroon po ng tinatawag natin discrimination pati din po sa barangay kasi mas ang kinukuha po kasi nila yung galing po talaga sa TESDA. At least TESDA holder ka, alam mo yung pagano ng electrical pero hindi sila lisensyado. Yung po yung talagang pagkakaiba. Kaya nga po kung papansinin po natin, kung mababa pa lang po tayo kasi ang TESDA po, ma'am, lalo na po sa senior high, tinuturo na rin po ang electrical. Tapos hindi po license yung nagtuturo. Parang iba po yung dating. May discrimination.
Totoo yan. Talagang kasi si TESDA, ang galing ng promotion niya. Kung napapansin niyo, ang galing nilang mag-promote sa skills, di ba? Nag-advertise sila na pwede ka nang maging ganito pag nag-aral ka ng ganito, pag nasa senior high school ka, ang pinili mo, EIM, pwede ka nang magtrabaho. Yung kanilang promotion, yun yung nagkakaroon ng konting problema sa atin. Kasi tignan mo, ano lang ba ang matututunan ng isang bata doon sa senior high school? It's a limited knowledge. Wala nga silang, minsan yung mga schools, wala nga silang proper laboratory para sa mga electrical na mga workshop, di ba? Wala eh. So, nangyari din yan sa akin eh. Isang school, pauupuin yung mga estudyante dun sa classroom, tapos magwa-wiring sila na ang magiging source voltage nila ay 220, in which sabi ko kahit anong discipline ng engineering, 12 volts lang pwedeng hawakan ng hindi electrical. Tapos ang bata, pahahawakin ninyo ng 220 volts. Parang, di ba, may problema talaga tayo sa education system natin kasi yung mga agencies natin hindi naka-align, hindi well coordinated. Every agency, kanya-kanya sila kung paano nila patakbuhin yung agency nila na hindi nako-consider kung ano yung mga nasasapawan nila, ano yung mga natatouch nilang mga professions in which yun yung dapat nating may address na sana unti-unti tulad sa mga ganito na ipapaalam natin sa nakakataas kung ano yung mga dapat gawin ng nasa taas para ma-address yung mga ganitong problema.
Ma'am, pero ako, ma'am, hindi naman po ako against dun sa ng TESDA. Ang point ko lang po is yung nagkakaroon po kasi ng discrimination po talaga, ma'am, sa mga ganung sistema. Kaya po, sa part ko po, dahil RME passer naman po ako, tsaka isang educator din po ako, tinatry ko pong ma-change.
Yeah. Thank you. Dapat ganon yung thinking natin na dapat walang discrimination kasi kapag nag-discriminate ka, very subjective yan eh. Ang naapektuhan yung mga tao. Sabi ko nga, yung galing TESDA skills yan. Tayong mga lisensyado, malalim ang kaalaman natin. So, ang pwede mo na lang gawin dyan kasi pagdating sa employment kasi napakalaking usapin yan eh. Employment ng isang licensed electrician at saka ng TESDA. Ang laki ng difference sa bayad pa lang. Bayad pa lang yan eh. Pinag-uusapan dyan kaya nagkaroon ng mas pine-prefer nila ang mga TESDA graduates because they are being paid ng mas mababa kesa sa mga licensed electricians. So, ang gawin mo na lang, tulad niyan, yung pagmamahal mo sa profession mo, nasa education ka, dapat sa umpisa pa lang, yun yung i-discuss mo dun sa mga skilled na mga kwan natin, sa EIM, na parang kahit pa unti-unti, mai-promote mo ano ang difference ng lisensyado at saka sa skill, at para masabi mo rin sa kanila na kailangan may ethics. Kasi doon pumapasok ang ethics natin, in which hindi naman natin sinasabi yung mga galing Tesla walang ethics. Kailang hindi na imbibe sa kanila na magkaroon ng professional ethics. Unlike sa atin, pag nag-exam tayo, kasama yung ethics diyan. Lahat ng kilos natin dapat kilos ng isang professional na isang lisensyado. Pero pagdating sa kanila, minsan hindi nila nakikita doon kasi ang nakikita nila, alam nila yung gagawin nila kasi naituro sa kanila na hindi naging holistic yung turo sa kanila. Kumbaga, nasa specialization lang sila, which is yung EIM, NC3, yung mga ganun lang, no? So thank you sa pagkuhan mo para maiwasan mo yung discrimination between these people. Umpisahan mo na rin na gawin kung ano alam mong nararapat para mawala yung discrimination sa mga nangyayari sa electrical profession, no, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. At least na-raise ko lang po ito, ma'am, kasi malaking bagay po kasi para sa profession po natin yung ganitong sistema, ma'am, kasi ang hirap po. Sa
problema talaga yan.
Ang hirap.
Yeah, talagang problema talaga yung NC2 kasi yan yung palaging question ng mga electricians kasi mas prefer nila ang NC2 or NC3 kasi mas mura nga. Yun yung sinasabi ko eh. Ang tinitignan kasi palagi ng kababayan natin kung ano yung mas mura. Hindi nila tinitignan kung ano yung ikakabuti. Hindi naman natin sinasabing huwag nilang bigyan ng trabaho, kaya lang dapat with the supervision of a licensed electrical professional palagi yung mga taga-Tesla. Yun.
Maraming salamat po, ma'am.
Yes, thank you din, Sir Nestor.
Yun, so talagang si Sir Nestor ay may ano din, no? Drive din po talaga about sa ating. Yeah. Due to limited time, no, gustuhin man nating i-entertain lahat ng question. Last 3 question na lang po muna tayo. Maybe you can reach Ma'am Chi naman. Si Ma'am Chi ay napaka-approachable na tao. Kahit sa messenger yan talagang magre-reply. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Message me.
Message nyo lang po. Last 3 question na lang po tayo due to time limitation. Okay. As discussed, only PE can sign electrical plans. But how about some certification like electrical safety certificate? Pwede daw po ba yung REE?
Yes, sa certification, REE can sign, RME can sign. Kapag kayo yung in charge ng installation, pag in charge kayo ng installation, yes, you can sign, you can certify that as long as kayo. Ang sa PEE lang, yung mga plans na kailangan ng selyo, sila lang ang pwede dyan.
Okay.
Pero ang REE at RMEE pwede, depende sa capacity. As long as kayo nga yung in charge. Yes, you can sign.
From Sir Alan po, regarding sa issue ulit ng medyo malaki po talaga issue ng barangay electrician. Nagtatanong po ma'am, in case na magkaroon daw ng damage or practicing without license, paano daw po ba kakasuhan yun?
Yung practicing without license?
Opo, or yung mga barangay electrician, paano daw po makakasuhan po yun if ever nagkaroon ng damage?
Hindi mo kasi pwedeng kasuhan ang barangay electrician kasi wala tayong batas na nakakasakop sa kanila. Pero kapag sila they go overboard on what they are not supposed to do, then that's the time na pwede nating kasuhan. Paano natin sila kakasuhan? Gather evidence. Para at least may actual kang evidence na hindi pwedeng paninira lang ang kalalabasan. So for example, gumawa siya, nandun siya sa substation na hindi naman siya licensed to do that. Picturean mo, anong ginagawa niya, i-video mo, or do something na magkaroon ng hard evidence. Kasi sabi nga, pag nasa korte ka, dapat may evidence kang ipapakita, else puro allegation lang yan, puro baka sabihin nila paninirang puri lang yan, mahirap din. Hard evidence is very important for us to raise a concern sa higher ups.
So last question po tayo, no? My apology, hindi po natin talaga entertain lahat ng question. So I read na lang yung suggestion, no? Just want to suggest, no, if possible daw po ba, IIEE through BEE can review the training regulation being implemented by TESDA. The consultant of the training regulation are members of IEE. They are all PEs and consultant of EE industry. So, suggestion po ito, ma'am, from Sir Yel.
Yeah, yun na yung kwan ngayon tungkol dyan, na yung magtuturo talaga sa mga TESDA ay mga electrical practitioners. Additional employment sa ating mga licensed electrical practitioners kasi yun yung ipapa-require na sa TESDA. I think nasa usapin na yan, nakakita na ako ng dokumento na yun na yung direction ng ating Board of Electrical Engineering.
Alright, so thank you so much nag-participate sa ating question and answer, no? Si Ma'am Chi naman po ay approachable kung may mga further question pa po kayo, pwede natin siyang i-reach out. No?
Yeah.
And thank you, Natsek, for clarifying them, no? We now continue to the awarding of the certificate. May we call on Engineer Jess Bernal, SCCBP for external, to read the citation. So, Jess.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you po,
Morning,
Ma'am
sir.
Che. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Napaka-informative at kami ay na-update, na-refresh po dito sa topic about RA 7920. So marami tayong natutunan, maraming question. Okay, so let's proceed.